Ted Bundy, a name that still terrifies people decades after his execution. He wasn't just any serial killer. He was one of the most notorious, manipulative, and disturbing criminals in American history. With at least 30 known victims, and possibly many more, his crimes left a trail of horror across multiple states. But who was Ted Bundy really? How did he go from being a charming law student to one of the most feared serial killers of all time? Let's uncover the dark and twisted true story of Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was born Theodore Robert Bundy on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. His early life? A complete mystery, even to himself. Bundy grew up believing that his mother was his sister and that his grandparents were his real parents. This deception shaped him early on, and many believe it played a role in the deep emotional detachment he later showed. Psychologists would later describe him as a classic psychopath, charming, manipulative, and completely devoid of remorse. But in the beginning, he was just another boy next door. Bundy seemed like a normal guy. He attended the University of Washington, where he studied psychology and even worked on political campaigns. But behind the charming smile, a monster was lurking. By the early 1970s, young women in Washington and Oregon started disappearing. The common pattern? They were young, attractive, with long dark hair parted in the middle. They were last seen with a man who looked just like Bundy. Then came the shocking twist. Bundy wasn't just randomly snatching victims. He was luring them in. His method? Faking an injury with a cast or crutches, pretending to need help carrying books or loading his car. Once the victim was close enough, he struck. It was pure manipulation. And it worked. As the bodies piled up, Bundy moved from Washington to Utah, Colorado, and Idaho. By 1975, police finally caught a break. They arrested Bundy on suspicion of attempted kidnapping. But guess what? He escaped. Not once, not twice, but 2 times. The first time, he jumped out of a courthouse library window. The second, he cut a hole in his prison cell ceiling and crawled out. And after escaping, he killed again. Bundy's final killing spree was his most brutal. In 1978, he broke into a Florida State University sorority house, murdering 2 women and attacking 2 more, all in one night. Shortly after, he kidnapped and murdered 12-year-old Kimberly Leach. That was his final act of horror. A few days later, he was pulled over for a traffic violation. And that's when Florida police realized who they had in custody. This time, Bundy wasn't going anywhere. The trial of Ted Bundy became a media sensation. For the first time in history, a murder trial was televised nationally. And Bundy loved it. He acted as his own lawyer. He flirted with reporters. He even proposed to a woman in court, and she said yes. Bundy thought he could charm his way to freedom. But the jury saw through him, sentenced to death. After 10 years on death row, Bundy finally ran out of time. On January 24th, 1989, he was executed in the electric chair. Before his death, he finally confessed to killing at least 30 women, but many believe the number was much higher. His last words? "Give my love to my family and friends." Ted Bundy wasn't just a serial killer. He was a psychopath, a master manipulator, and a case study in evil. His crimes changed law enforcement forever, leading to better criminal profiling, new safety measures, and a deeper understanding of psychopathy. And yet, society remains fascinated by him. Why? Because Ted Bundy was proof that monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they smile. So what do you think? Was Bundy truly insane? Or just pure evil? How many victims do you think he really had? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this deep dive into true crime interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more chilling stories. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.